Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host Brett Murphy, and for today's video I have a brand new ranking for you all, and I am going to be ranking all 6 of the $2 billion club movies. So as most of you likely know, just recently Avatar: The Way of Water surpassed $2 billion with a big old fat B at the worldwide box office. And I honestly love this news because so many people in the build up to this movie just kept on saying that Avatar was irrelevant and nobody cares and nobody wants to see the sequel and the first movie so mid and that it was gonna flop and everything, and now it just passed Avengers Infinity War to become the 5th highest grossing movie of all time. But aside from that moral victory, this was also just such a massive relief to me. A lot of people were worried about movie theaters in this post-pandemic world. A lot of us were very worried that they were on their way out with same-day releases on streaming and in theaters, or just straight to streaming releases, but leave it to James Cameron to prove to everybody that theaters are alive and well and that people still want to go to the movies. So the fact that in 2022 a movie can still pull in this much money is just spectacular. The $2 billion club only consists of 6 movies, and those are the ones I'm going to be ranking today. Before I hop into the actual ranking itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my ranking videos. There's already over 100 videos on that playlist for you to enjoy, so if rankings are your thing, then check that playlist out and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so without further ado, let's hop right into things. Number 6, Titanic. So yes, after just talking about a James Cameron movie, we're moving into another James Cameron movie because this guy takes up 3 of the 6 spots. Yeah, James Cameron occupies 50% of the $2 billion club list. And this list was actually incredibly hard to rank because I would give all of these movies either a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. I love them all. Titanic, in my personal opinion, is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, love story ever told. And I really do feel like James Cameron nailed every aspect of this movie. Like I said, I think the love story is brilliant. I think that Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet are a perfect pairing. Their chemistry was undeniable and their performances were superb. And some people like to complain that the love story takes too much away from the real world events, but I completely disagree because I think that Cameron did wonderful handling those aspects as well. I think that all of the CGI work and all of the practical work, be it inside the Titanic or when it's cracking in two and sinking, I think all of that was just extraordinary. And I think they really nailed the theme of the class divide, as well as he really did just deliver on those emotional moments, seeing that elderly couple in their bed with the water pouring in, or the single mother telling her children it's gonna be alright even though she absolutely knows it won't be. So I don't really know where this hate is starting to come from and pop up all over social media for Titanic, but this movie to this very day is still immaculate. Number 5, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I know for whatever reason it's just so popular to hate on the sequel trilogy nowadays, but I honestly think that The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi are both excellent, and it's really only The Rise of Skywalker that doesn't deliver. For me, The Force Awakens is a top 3 Star Wars movie. I absolutely love it. Yes, it is sort of just a modern retelling of A New Hope, but that's exactly what Star Wars needed. After the prequel trilogy, it needed something for original fans to connect to, and it needed something to draw new fans in, so it was familiar yet fresh and new and exciting. J.J. Abrams' direction is top-notch with this one. I loved the blending of old characters and new characters. I think that although the stories didn't necessarily pan out the way everyone was hoping they were, I think that Rey was a wonderful new centerpiece to the franchise and an excellent new addition. I loved where they were taking Finn originally. I loved Poe Dameron. And really, this just felt like a much needed and welcomed return to form for the galaxy far, far away. Number 4, Avatar: The Way of Water. I really do think that this movie is just bloody marvelous. It delivers on everything I expected to. There is epic action, plenty of emotion, high stakes, deep thought-provoking themes, and of course, the best CGI in the industry today, okay? Cameron and his team revolutionized CGI back in '09 with the first Avatar, and they somehow did it again with this one. Because I would say like 95% of what you see on screen in this movie is completely CGI, and you can't even tell. There are countless stunning, gorgeous, breathtaking shots in this movie. I cared about the characters even more than I did the first time around. I loved all of the new additions, like the expanded Sully family. I loved getting to explore more of the unbelievable magical world of Pandora. The story was interesting and kept me engaged through its entire massive 3+ hour runtime. I was hugely campaigning for people to not doubt James Cameron, especially when it comes to sequels. This man delivered T2, Aliens, and now Avatar: The Way of Water. In my opinion, some of the greatest, if not the greatest, sequels of all time. So absolutely, you can sign me up for Avatar 3, 4, 5, as many as this man wants to do. Number 3, Avatar. There is a lot of debate whether Avatar or Avatar: The Way of Water is superior, but I really do feel they're pretty much neck and neck. Like, they're just right there for me. But what really draws me back to Avatar more is how much that movie has stuck with me. Because even though a lot of people like to say, oh, they forgot about Avatar, and again, it's irrelevant and blah, 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 and it wasn't that good in the first place, I have always loved and had a massive soft spot for the first Avatar. I will never forget opening night in that theater with a packed crowd. I will never forget my first venture into Pandora and how wide my eyes got seeing this beautiful world and realizing just how much of this was CGI and how lifelike it looked. I'll never forget the exciting adventure and the engaging story and the memorable characters, because yes, I do actually remember a lot of the characters, and that big epic like hour-long final fight just still blows my mind to this very day. So yes, some elements in The Way of Water are a bit better, but I also do feel that some elements in this first movie are a bit better than The Way of Waters. They even each other out pretty nicely, but it's just because this first movie was such an unforgettable experience for me that it gets the slight edge over its sequel. Number 2. Avengers Infinity War. This movie really just came at us firing on all cylinders. It brought everyone together, and although it did conclude by really just being a stage setter for Endgame, this movie did everything right. It was primarily a Thanos movie, really. He was the main focus of the movie, and that was just a stroke of pure genius from the Russo bros and the writing team. Because we spent so much time with the villain, it just made him that much better, and Josh Brolin's performance was simply phenomenal. I also loved catching up with all of our characters that had been missing in action for the last little while, seeing where everyone is, and then I loved the groupings, who went to Wakanda and who went to Titan. The fight scenes are just incredible, the visuals are impeccable, and it has to be one of the most, if not the most, shocking, devastating movie endings of all time. I will absolutely, without a doubt, never forget the deafening silence in my movie theater when the snap happened, and the shock and dread on everyone's faces when our favorite heroes started to fade away, okay? I shit you not. This was one of the craziest movie moments I have ever sat through. This movie is everything it needed to be. Number 1, Avengers Endgame. So if you know me at all, then you probably should have seen this one coming. I've done a fair few MCU rankings at this point, and to this very day, Avengers Endgame is still my favorite MCU movie, and it's in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. This movie I cannot say enough positive things about. This is the most hyped I have ever been for a movie in my entire life. I anticipated this movie more than any other in my 24 years of existence, and not only did it meet every single one of my expectations, but it surpassed every single one of my expectations and somehow managed to beat the hype. Not to mention, this is my favorite theater experience of all time. It was my first time seeing a movie in IMAX, and to this day, still the only movie that I've seen in IMAX, because the closest IMAX theater to me is like 5 hours away. There is just so much going on in this movie, but I loved every single second of its massive 3-hour runtime. It earned every single moment, and it has some of the most memorable, iconic shots and sequences that are stored up in my memory of all time, of any movies I have seen. It was the perfect, and I will reiterate, perfect culmination of 11 years of build-up. It was everything that every movie that came before was leading towards, and somehow the Russo bros, the writing team, the cast, crew, everyone managed to deliver, and then some. And that is why it is without a doubt my favorite movie in this $2 billion club. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my ranking. While you're at it, don't forget to let me know how you would rank all 6 of these $2 billion club movies. If you're a movie lover whatsoever, then my channel is the place to be for you. Be it rankings like this one, top 10s versus videos, tier videos, I have it all and so much more, with over 650 videos already on the channel and many more on the way. So if you enjoyed this particular video, then be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if any of that sounds like it's right for you and you want to see more from me, then smash that subscribe button right now. While you're at it, don't forget to ring that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you. And while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.